Hello everyone, and welcome to another video by Liminal Spaces. Today I just wanted to do a quick channel update, some sci-fi, fantasy, and horror news, and afterwards a quick book haul. First we'll start with news. It was Ring Week this week, so we talked about The Ring a ton. I'm sure that you guys are, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you're done with talking about it. We will resume normal channel activities next week. I plan to read Stanislaw Lem's The Futurological Congress. You know it's going to be a good sci-fi book when you can barely read the title. A lot of people have said, please do Lem, please do Lem, please do Lem. And I came across this and I thought, yeah, this would be a really good one to do. I read the little bit of the synopsis and it sounds like it is a trippy good time. So that is what I will be doing next week. My brother Jason is going to be doing the movie Solaris. And we chose to do that because, of course, I'm reading Stanislaw Lem. And he also wrote the book Solaris that the movie is based on. But I'm not going to read Solaris because this futurological Congress sounds so interesting. So that's the one I'm going to do. He's also plans on reading the next story in iRobot by Isaac Asimov, which is the story called Reason. So you can look forward to a ton of sci-fi next week. I'm recording this video on a Tuesday, but I'm not going to upload it until Friday. So it may be that by Friday we have hit 10,000 subscribers. But at the time of recording this video, we're about 40-something subscribers away from hitting 10,000. So I'll wait and talk about when we hit 10,000 on the next channel update. All right, quick news. There is a new horror movie coming out that looks really interesting. It's starring Nicolas Cage and it's called Longlegs. Looks like that's going to be released theatrically July 12th of 2024. It looks mind-bending and weird and all the things I love. I'm afraid it might be a little gory, but we'll see. We'll give it a watch and I'll give my thoughts on it when it comes out. Or Jason will, or both of us will. House of the Dragon Season 2. I did watch Season 1 of this. This is the Game of Thrones prequel. I've always had a little bit of a hard time with Game of Thrones. I DNF'd Game of Thrones in Season 5. It got way too torture-y for me. This one has had some weird stuff going on, but I enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to give Season 2 a try as well. That will be on Max. And it premieres on June 16th. So if you're watching that already, you can look forward to that second season. The movie Furiosa, which is in the Mad Max universe, comes out on May 24th. It looks like it's going to be an IMAX release as well, and the IMAX looks awesome. I saw the IMAX trailer when I went to see Dune 2, and it looks incredible. I'm going to have to rewatch Fury Road, but I remember loving Fury Road, so I'm sure that I will love Furiosa. So I finished a couple of shows this week. I finished the 3 Body Problem. It leaves on a cliffhanger, but man, it's so good. I loved it. I really enjoyed it, and I have not read the book. The only person in our circle, well, quite a few people in our circle have read the book. Dana is the only one that's really done any work on this channel. I haven't read the book, but I enjoyed that show. It was so fun and weird and so many mind-bending concepts. I absolutely recommend that you watch that show. It was a great time. I also watched a movie called Poor Things, which is kind of a modern Frankenstein. Really enjoyed it. Really mind-opening story. And at the end of the movie, I noticed that it is based on a novel by Aleister Gray. And Aleister Gray wrote one of my favorite college reads, which was Lanark. I think I've mentioned it on this channel before. Absolutely love the book Lanark. And I'm not surprised that such a weird concept, such a weird story like Poor Things came from Aleister Gray. So I'm going to be looking for that novel, and I might try to look at that on the channel in the future. All right, that's all for the news. I wanted to end with a quick book haul. Sunday was my birthday, and my daughter planned a wonderful day for me. And what she did is she did a bunch of research into our local area and found 3 bookstores, used bookstores that I've never heard of before in my area. And so we went to these 3 bookstores, and it was really wonderful. One of the best birthdays I've had in a long time. And I just wanted to share some of the stuff that I got. The first thing I got was a stack of DAW paperbacks. You can see I have a DAW collection behind me. For some odd reason, these guys make the best covers. I got Brian Stableford's Optiman. I don't know anything about this writer or about this book, but it looks awesome. I got Philip Jose Farmer and J.H. Rosny's Iron Castle. Looks very interesting, and Farmer is somebody that I wanted to get into. I got Thomas Burnett Swan's The Knot World. Some of my favorite cover art is from Swan. I have no idea what he's like as a writer, but I look forward to finding out. I've heard he's kind of a fantasy writer, so it seems very interesting. I got George H. Smith's The Second War of the Worlds. Another version of the War of the Worlds, or a retelling, continuation of the War of the Worlds. Very interesting looking. And then I got 4 Andre Nortons. The Book of Andre Norton, The Spell of the Witch World. This is interesting because this is the first DAW book. It says number 1 right there. And I have a copy of it, but my copy's a later printing with a different cover. This is the actual first edition, first printing of the first DAW book ever. So I'm very happy to have found this. It's got a crease on the cover. That's too bad. But all of these were under $2, which is what I look for when I buy DAWs. The Crystal Griffin and The Lore of the Witch World. I have so many DAWs to read, as you can see behind me. So these will all be added to the shelves back there. Another collection that I really like, that I'm trying to get all of, is the Bolletine Adult Fantasy. And by adult fantasy, they don't mean adult. They mean that it's fantasy that's not written for children. Because fantasy, of course, when it was first came out, was considered to be very childish and for children. This is Kai Lung Unrolls His Mat by Ernest Brahma. So I'll get to add that to my collection. You can't see my collection because it's on the bottom shelf back there, but this is another one to add to that in terrible condition. But I didn't have it at all, and it's very readable, so that's a good time. I also got some stuff specifically for the channel. There's a lot of things that I have been recommended, and I really appreciate that. I love you guys making recommendations because I want to find things that are new recommendations for everybody else, but I also want to read things that are great that you all have read before. I found an interesting copy of Samuel R. Delaney's Babel 17. This has been high up on my list. Cool thing about this book is it mimics the old Ace doubles. So you flip it over and it is Empire Star by Delaney. So 2 Delaneys. The important one, of course, being Babel 17, which many of you have requested that I read. So that will be coming up on the channel. I also got, and this one I'm super excited for, there's been a lot of talk about J.G. Ballard, and I think that he's a writer that's going to be right up my alley. But I was having a hard time figuring out where to start, and I was lucky. I went to one of these bookstores, and they had quite a Ballard collection, so I was able to read through a lot of the descriptions and figure out which one I wanted. And this is the one I chose, Concrete Island, which can only be described as the post-apocalyptic scenes of a liminal space, right? It's not the end of the world, so I really can't call it post-apocalyptic, but it has that feeling apparently. It's about a guy that crashes his car and gets lost in the middle of this huge freeway interchanges, and he can't get out of this world. He's stuck, and he can't get across the freeway or out at all. And there's this almost hallucinogenic kind of post-apocalyptic in style world going on in this area. What an incredible idea. I can't wait to crack this. J.G. Ballard's Concrete Island looks so interesting. So you can expect that in the future. One of my favorite finds of the day, Life Among the Savages by Shirley Jackson. And this is a first edition. $3 when it came out. I was blown away when I saw this. $7 that I paid for this. Incredible. Incredible. A writer that is very difficult to find in used bookstores and is just an outstanding writer. I'll be doing a Haunting of Hill House book on this, or Haunting of Hill House review and deep read on this channel eventually. I really love her. I also got the 1972 annual World's Best Sci-Fi. This is another collection that I'm trying to get all of. So I have quite a few of these, but I did not have this one. This is a book club edition, which is not a big deal. They might all be. I don't know if there is true firsts of these. But this one has Frank Frazetta cover art. Oh, that's cool. That was a good plus. So as you guys know, I'm from the Southwest. I actually live in New Mexico. And Roger Zelazny spent the end of his life in New Mexico. Many local bookstores consider him a local author. And I went to a bookstore, and it turned out that when Zelazny passed away, a large chunk of his collection of books that he had on his shelves went to this specific bookstore. And I found some incredible gems specifically from Zelazny in that store. The first thing I grabbed was another copy of Deus Irae. This is a different cover than the one that I read for the channel. The one that I read for the channel has the happy atomic bomb going off in the background. It's stupid to have two copies of the same book, I know, but it's in such good condition and I couldn't pass it up. It's a different cover, and I'll just put them next to each other on the shelf. I love them both. They're both so cool. I also got... No, I'm not going to pull it out of its bag. I also got For Tomorrow by Roger Zelazny. This is a first edition. A quartet of exciting novelettes by the winner of a Hugo Award and 2 Nebula Awards. So that's a lot of fun. I'm going to look at that one as well. This was a very cool one. I am going to take it out of the bag. Today We Choose Faces. The reason I grabbed this is it is signed. So I now have Zelazny's signature, which was super exciting. I was glad to have that. And it's just in really good condition. It's a first edition later printing. It's not a first, but it's signed. So I have no complaints. I also got a first edition copy of Road Marks. This is just a standalone novel by Zelazny. One that I look forward to reading. Last exit to Babylon, and there's just an old truck driving down a desert highway with a dragon on top of it. What more could you ask for? So that was fun. I was excited to find that. And the weirdest book that I found was Wilderness. This is by Roger Zelazny and Gerald Hausman. And Gerald Hausman, I don't know who he is, but apparently he's like a Western writer. I don't know. So this is like a Western that Roger Zelazny wrote with somebody, from what I can tell. The cool thing about this is it is signed by both of them, Roger Zelazny and Hausman. First edition, first print, in beautiful condition. A novel that I think it is listed on his wiki, but You can't click on it. There's no information about it, so I don't know. He did a great job in science fiction. He did a great job in fantasy. Maybe he does a great job in westerns as well. Anyway, that was my birthday book haul. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. If you liked it, please click like. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. We'll have a lot of it in the future. And thank you so much for watching.